be able to appeal because it's I think it's the first, such matters regarding money has to do with the Federal High Court. So I guess the Federal High Court is the one that handles. So he can definitely appeal. But for me, what are you appealing? You already pleaded guilty.
That's what I'm saying. So can you appeal that the sentence was too harsh? Is that possible?
You can't appeal that the sentence was too harsh because that's within the preserve of the judge. The judge can decide to give the maximum sentence or the minimum sentence without an option for it's within it's their sole prerogative to decide that. So he can't appeal that the sentence is too harsh because what does the law prescribe for defacing the naira? Has the judge given you a punishment or a sentence that is within the ambit of the law? Yes, he has. So what are you appealing? Unless you want to appeal that the law is harsh or repugnant to natural justice, but the judge has given you something that is within the ambit of the law, so you can't appeal that the judgment is too harsh. So, but my issue is that he pleaded guilty. To me, that is the number one error. That is the number one error. So it's unfortunate. He should just do the time.
All right. Mary, you're not going anywhere. Also with us is Sarah Sani. Sarah Sani is a lawyer. She has her PhD in law. You see, Free Nation lawyers, Free Nation babes, they're bad. Mary, you had a first class in law. So the lady that just spoke, first class lawyer. The second lady that is about to speak, PhD in law. So we don't have ignorant people talking today. So Sarah, the question is, can Bobrisky appeal the sentence? Do you think the sentencing was too harsh? And if Bobrisky invited you to be his lawyer or to be the lead in his legal representation, what would your advice at this stage be?
Well, still at the discretion of the judge, like she has said, but I would explore the possibility of an appeal, certainly. I would explore it. On what basis? On leniency basis, on the fact that he or she is a first-time offender. And, I don't know how well they considered the fact that he's a first-time offender, other factors that could come in based on his previous record, showing the fact that he's already remorseful for the offense he has committed. He's quite remorseful, and the fact that he's agreeing not to indulge in such activity again. All these things needed to be considered. On that basis, there could be an appeal. And there's an option of fine. To me, it was a bit harsh. It was a bit harsh on him, to me, because this is a first-time offender. It's not like it's his history, and of course, he was remorseful from all indications, from what I read, was remorseful. He didn't give the court stress. He admitted to have committed the offense. Whatever cost would have come in, like based on the cost that would be incurred by the judicial system in carrying out a full trial, he has already cut that short. The criminal justice system was faced with seemingly an easy one to decide on. No much time to waste and all, and you gave, and this is an offense that had an option of fine, and you did not even consider that. I personally consider it as being harsh, and I would, if I were to be his representative, definitely I would appeal, and I believe his lawyers would appeal it. I do believe so. So going on appeal, there could be a more human eyes to reviewing the decision, and it's still going to be within the ambit of the law. But the tricky part of it is that a trial court decision to be made at its discretion, it's always very, on appeal, it's not really appropriate for a judge on appeal to question the decision of a trial court, which was given based on its own discretion. Because it was given based on maybe other reasons, such as evidence were not reviewed properly, other factors. But when it's something that is solely the discretion of the judge to make, so I feel you are now questioning the discretion of that trial judge to actually take a decision on the matter. That's the tricky part of where the prosecuting lawyers can come in from if they really want to drag it on appeal. So it's both ways. But if I were to be his representative, like I've said, appeal certainly will take place. You know, it's a first-time offender. It's just slamming him that, you know, it's not, I don't know. That's why people feel there's more to it. But that's not the facts before us anyway. We are facing it based on the offense he's being tried for, and strictly based on that. You know, I'll still look closely into the matter. I've just looked at it from its, you know, skeletal basis.
From a skeletal basis.
I'm still going to look closely into it and see the reason why the reasons behind the judgments, you know. I know they want to use him as, what will I call it, in
now,
general terms.
Oladipupo Mesole sent a super chat. I only read messages on YouTube if they're attached to a super chat. He said he can only appeal if his plea was under duress. You know, he pleaded guilty. Can that work?
Yeah, that is one of the reasons why he can appeal. It doesn't mean that is the only reason. That is one of the reasons, yes, if he was under duress. Does that mean he wants to change his plea? I don't think he's ready to change his plea because the evidence are overwhelming. So changing his plea is definitely not an option. There's no duress. The video is
You can't even change your plea. You can't even change your plea because when you go before an appeal court or the appealing court, what they review is just the entire facts that was presented at the lower court. You can't even present fresh evidence at the appeal court. So no, Absolutely. He can't change his plea. He can't do all those things. They're only reviewing decision. That's all.
They are reviewing the decision.
I'm surprised because I'm sure the prosecution would have given him sort of like a plea bargaining to court's sentencing. But unfortunately, that did not work. That clearly did not work for Bobrisky. I'm sure he would have had an agreement with the prosecution behind closed doors. To,
okay, let's talk about the penal code here. Let's talk about the penal code here. What is the maximum jail time for defacing the naira in Nigeria?
That's 6 months now. Or
6 months.
6 months or the option of fine.
6 months of fine.
So that 6 months is the highest possible sentence.
Wow. That's why I say he was given. So for a first-time offender being faced with that punishment, and this is a sentence that has an option of fine without even giving him that window to explore the option of fine. That's where I feel it's a bit harsh.
But to be honest, I know you said if you're the lawyer, you might want to appeal. But if I'm to play the devil's advocate right now, even if you appeal, they might not grant it. You know why?
When you are appealing, no matter, in any appeal, it's always a two-way thing. In any trial, I'm not saying I'm appealing because I'm setting the... No lawyer can ever tell you with 100% certainty that this is going to be the decision of the judge, because I am not the judge, so I won't take the decision. I can only appeal just the same way you go on trial. You can never be too sure, but if you don't try, you don't know. So I don't see this case as one of the cases that would say there is no hope for an appeal.
Now, if he loses at the appeal, he can still go to Supreme Court.
Of course.
Yes.
It's just for you to review it. You have to weigh the strengths anyway, because this appeal process and the rest, you are putting in resources and all. So it's still to weigh the strength of your appeal.
And was there a
I
reason
know they
for
want
no?
to use him as a scapegoat for others, like a lesson. I think that's the angle the judge is coming from. Want to use him as, because there's been previous similar trial of defacing the notes, and people were giving judgments with option of fine. So it's beginning to look like, oh, people feel the option of fine is where they can fall back on. So let us actually.
I must say, I'm disappointed in that lady that was given the option of the fine, because she's now making it look like she won and things like that. We don't. The remorse we are seeing in Bobrisky, we're not even seeing it in that other lady, that actress.
That's what I'm saying, and that is where individual cases comes in, the peculiarity of individual cases. So I feel why Bob just happened to be the scapegoat here is the fact that there's been previous, similar judgments where people were given option of fine, and it seems like everybody already knows what the ultimate judgment would be. So I'll just pay the fine and I move on. So they want to clear the air as to that and let people know that, okay, this is a possibility. I think that's where the judge is
let's not forget
from.
the fact that, like I said, he must have had some form of agreement with the prosecution behind closed doors, because there were money laundering charges against him initially. And they're like, you know what? We are just going to drop these money laundering charges, but you have to plead guilty to defacing the naira. And then, the judge can also give you an option for fine. So it's not like you really stayed. You know how things go on behind closed doors.
That's a possibility. Yeah, that's actually a possibility. But even with that being said, like coming from the angle of plea bargaining, that's a possibility. But at the end of the day, he probably accepted that bargain with the belief that the option of fine would be given.
Would be given, yeah.
And the decision, the final decision for whether an option of fine would be given or not, lies on the desk of the judge. So even assuming, like you have said, that there was a plea bargain between Bob and the prosecutor, they would be working with the mindset that they assume the judge will only deliver a judgment on the basis of, abusing the naira notes, and it will stop there. But the judgment was now much more specific beyond what they envisaged by removing the option of fine. So
that is free.
Now, let me ask the lady, are you a lawyer too? The lady that joined us below.
Are you talking about me?
Yes, Aderonke. Okay.
No, I just have a bit of knowledge. No, I'm not.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you whether you've been able to reach out to his lawyers to just, see whether we can interview him and see what the bargain was, what, because it has to be something. They can't just take it like that and they feel like it's okay. There must have been a kind of what was that word you used the other time? More like
plea bargain, right?
A plea bargain, exactly, to say if you drop this or if you do this, we'll do this.
Yeah,
so there must have been a kind of agreement.
Is working before trial. There's a judgment now. A judgment has been given. They are not going to let my phone rest. Yeah, hello? Yes.
To answer your question,
okay, somebody will attend to you now.
So basically, Bobrisky is having a plea bargain with the prosecution behind closed door. That has nothing to do with the judge. The judge is a neutral umpire, and the judge cannot descend into the arena at all. So whatever you have with the prosecution is between you and the prosecution. The judge is not involved. So if the judge decides to give the maximum sentence based on a plea of guilt by the accused or by the defendant, let me not use the accused because it's not let me use the word accused. If the accused has pleaded guilty and the judge has decided to go for, the judge has decided to go for the maximum sentence, what else do you really want to do? You can't do anything. If you want to appeal it, you cannot even appeal. You can't even introduce fresh evidence that they try at the appeal courts. So basically, you can't even change your plea. You can't say, "Oh, I had this. I was, coerced into." Okay, unless he can prove that he was coerced into pleading guilty by the prosecution. You can't do anything at the trial. They're only going to review whether there was some technicality in reaching the decision at the lower court or the trial court, or maybe the judge did not follow due process. They're just going to review based on technicalities and due process, not even facts. There's not going to be facts. Or the only thing that they're going to transmit the record from the trial court to the appeal courts. They're not going to do anything more than that. So it's going to be, that's why I told her that it's going to be hard to even appeal this decision. It's going to be hard.
Let me ask you another question. Thank you so much for that explanation. That's, well explained. Another thing is, as a lawyer, I'm just asking you now, is it allowed, as in for the judges, to pass judgment out of discretion, or does it really have to be within the law, as in because this is a maximum sentence?
Sorry, lawyer, I can answer that. It has to be within the penal code.
Yes.
So apportioning the maximum sentence means that the judge is just using the discretion as the way he wants it.
Discretion within the ambit of the law. He used his discretion within the ambit of the law.
So what can he appeal then? There's nothing to appeal then. He's still within the law. So really, what's there to appeal? And he pleaded guilty already.
Within the ambit of the law.
I don't think you understand how law works. You see, there are 3 stages to a judgment. When you get the judgment from the High Court is also known as the lesser court. Then you go to the appeal court. Or the lower court. Then you go to the appeal court. Then, if you have seen cases of people who lost at the High Court, lost at the appeal, and won at Supreme.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, because a judge gave a judgment at the lower court does not mean that that judgment is final unless you choose to accept it as final.
Yeah.
So if you decide that, okay, you know what, I want to pursue this case, I feel I can have the case overturned, I feel I was unfairly treated, you can go to the appeal court. But one worry I have with the appeal court is you're not going to get the appeal court to sit in 6 months. So what's the use?
He would have
let me ask you lawyers another thing. At what stage do people go to tribunal?
No, tribunal for special cases.
Special cases.
No.
Actually, you don't know much about this court at all.
No,
you don't have idea.
No, Daddy Freeze, hold on. Oh, no, you can't just say that. Hold on. We don't need to be a lawyer to apply some, hold on. That's why we're talking to the lawyers. Both of us are not lawyers, Daddy Freeze. Don't bring that to your...
You don't.
Okay. Daddy Freeze, we are both learning from them. That's why you can see that I'm asking questions. I'm not...
Them, but we did different stage.
Okay, we're asking questions from them because they are more learned than 2 of us, Daddy Freeze.
You can ask me, I can answer them.
Okay.
What the questions you ask never reach lawyer level.
Okay, you to answer this question, because the reason I said at what stage do we use tribunal was I once had a case, right?
Yes.
And the judgment was passed. The country said this the decision was made out of the whatever law, and you have no right of appeal. That was me in person.
No, you have not told us the facts of the case.
Exactly. We need to know everything.
No. I'm talking of 20 years ago. This was immigration. That was 20 years ago.
It doesn't matter. It might be.
No. But what I was... But the question I was trying to ask was... Yes, the question I was trying to ask was, I remember then that the lawyers I went to oh, they've already said you don't have a right of appeal. Don't waste your time, right? And another person I spoke to said, You didn't commit no, offense. It was just immigration and blah, blah, blah. Try your last, lap and try something. And I took UK to the tribunal myself, and I won there. That was the reason I'm asking you, at what stage
now,
in Nigeria, under Nigerian constitution, do you now use tribunal under Nigerian constitution? Is that appealing? Is that,
You need to understand that although the UK and the Nigerian legal systems are quite similar, they are not identical.
Common law.
Yes. So
common law,
what you can do in the UK, you might not be able to do in Nigeria. 100%. So
yes, was my question, exactly.
So what I wanted to know was, what was your case about? Where was it? For instance, in America,
UK, it was in UK.
So it's totally different in Nigeria.
Not totally. That was the question I said. I said in Nigeria. I said, at what stage does it really apply to Nigerian system as well? That's exactly what I said. As in,
tribunals, from my understanding, for the Nigerian system are for election petitions and those kind of things, not for money laundering cases. They will not set up a tribunal for a money laundering case that you have pleaded guilty to.
Okay.
Do you understand? I might not be an expert in the law, but this case is very open and close. You have pleaded guilty. There is evidence. You said it is you. You did not say, no, it was not me. The videos were doctored. Do you understand? Or I was under the influence or something. You did not come up with any. You said, yes, it is me. So it's like any thing. Somebody will want buy, don't make person won't buy person. So argument no plenty. So the only problem we have now is what many people are suggesting to be the harshness of the judgment. Now, legally, according to the Constitution and according to the Penal Code, it is at a judge's discretion to give a judgment, as long as that, if the judge has said, I give you 1 month in prison, it's fine. If the judge has said, I give you 5.5 months in prison, it's
within
fine.
the ambit of the law.
As long as the judge cannot say, I sentence you to 10 years imprisonment, then it's no longer within the ambit of the law. You understand? Now, another thing, Bobrisky has been there for like 3 weeks, so the sentence is going to start counting from the first day Bobrisky was arrested.
Was in detention.
Yeah.
So, he
has 5 more months.
5 months left.
Yeah.
If he asks me, should he appeal? I will say, for what?
The time within which his appeal will be heard, he would have finished the sentence.
Before they file the appeal,
before they transmit the record, before they transmit the record,
the
90 days.
Appeal court is always 3 judges.
Yeah.
So before they assign them to a court, Baba, it will remain 2 weeks. So make it just, you see, it's one thing I would always also say is make all of us learn. I may be wrong, but I think because Bobrisky bragged that he was untouchable.
Oh, Daddy Freeze, you just nailed it. You just nailed it.
That for me,
that wasn't the first time of bragging to be untouchable.
You understand? Anything you want to say in this life, anything you want to do in this life, never say you are untouchable. Yeah. All of us, if government decide to sit on your case, you understand?
But DF,
yes.
But DF, it has nothing to do with. It has, yes, it might also be that he's untouchable. He bragged that he was untouchable. But please, people should not get carried away. It has nothing to do with maybe the VDM issue. Oh, I said you go down, you go down. It has nothing to do with any human being.
It might not even be
that
his
judge
case.
Is not even yet. That judge just made that decision.
Even legally speaking, nobody's considering that he said he's untouchable.
Let us just focus on the merits.
Yes, but it's like smoke. It's like smoke screen, right?
Let me tell you
focus
something.
on the merits.
Why did I say the bragging? And I'll explain this to you. Yeah, if I am the judge, and I have seen a video where you said you're untouchable, and I have the discretion to give you the highest possible sentence, I probably would.
Yeah.
Because you have said you are on top. You see, that's why we also need to be careful. You see, this social media where they play with is a very dangerous place.
Very dangerous.
You have
no
idea on top. You see, that's why we also need to be careful. You see, this social media. Okay, sorry, it was replaying. You have no idea. Look at what happened to Cora yesterday.
Yeah.
Look at what happened to Cora yesterday. All social media toxicity. Somebody does not like you on social media. Look at the extent to which they went with Cora's case. All of us need to learn, including me. I was angry the other day, bragging about, for this woman, But when I saw the tension that it was causing my brothers, I had to come out and say, look, that's not what I meant. It was for a specific case. So. Because you don't know where people are going to take. You see, we are having an interview on social media. I've always been very careful. But even the best of us can get into trouble.
Yep.
Even the best of us can lose guard. And let me tell you, this lovely lady, what's her name? Mary. If me and Mary are sitting down and eating dinner, she says something annoying and I slap her and there's no evidence I can get away with. But if I say waka to her on social media, as long as there's that evidence, I will go to jail faster for the waka on social media if she decides to pursue it than for a slap that she cannot prove.
So true.
So social media gives us proof. That proof you are looking for. The whole case that was tried against Bobrisky, the proof was from social media.
Yes.
You go to an event, you spray money. Baba, all of us don't spray money before in the past. Me, I apologize for my
Do you get?
Luckily for me, spraying money is not something I'm big at. Because I waste money, but I like to waste money on things I can enjoy, like food, watch, things that I can see. Which one is make I can't pour money for musicians. It has never been my culture. So it's not because I have done it once or twice in the past, but the moment I knew that it was wrong, I stopped. And you see, we are complaining about our government. Our government is not good. Our government is not good. Our government is doing left. Our government is doing right. Oh, this, that. The government is spending an enormous amount of money printing new Naira notes because people are stepping on the old ones, and it gets to a point where you can't see what's on the Naira note anymore. It has degraded.
Sure.
So I don't know what to advise.
And I think
they only use Bobrisky to send signal to all of us, not only the celebrity, to let us know that the law is there waiting. It's just a matter of time catching up with each and everyone.
Yeah.
So really, it's just a very popular person, that would really send the signal across. And that's just what I feel.
And now, another thing is, what we should watch out for is, you don't know who's watching. You don't know who's what. You don't know the caliber of the people that are watching you. Some billionaires have private accounts. They never comment. They never like. They just say, oh, Daddy Freeze is on. They just put it on and they are watching. One billionaire at Obi Kubana's party yesterday, one billionaire walked up to me. I'm not going to mention his name. I said, Daddy Freeze, I enjoy you. Fear catch me. I said, you enjoy me. I know. If this guy told me he was on Instagram, I'm not going to believe. So how does he enjoy? So there are people who are watching and they are creating opinions about you. You understand what I'm telling you? They are creating opinions about you. You'll be amazed that judges are watching. I went somewhere the other day with taste buds and I met a high court judge. I'm not going to mention her name. Wonderful, beautiful lady, mixed race like me. She was telling me things I say. She was like, why do I always wave? I'm like, So you'll be amazed. People watching. Lawyers are watching. Doctors are watching. EFCC is watching. Police are watching. A governor can decide to be bored one day. Let me tell you, a governor can have a side chick. And at 2 a.m., the side chick wakes up from the side of the governor and says, the governor says, let me do some work. Let me reply some emails. And the side chick is watching Daddy Freeze laughing in the corner. The governor is like, what's making you laugh? It's Daddy Freeze. Oh, the guy is very annoying. Look at him. He's always waving his hand like this. Now, so governor, take know your matter. Then that day, if I decide to say something stupid, the governor don't write him down.
Yeah.
I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is allowed? How do we spray money at parties now? What is allowed?
You cannot spray money.
But I could see people carrying boxes these days for you to put the money inside. Is that allowed?
You see, the problem is the day government decides to sit down with you. That's the day you realize that.
But is it that they should not see Naira flying anywhere, or if there is a way they want them to spray it?
Now, what you can now do, people can
spraying
be
is not allowed.
About this.
Strictly
you
speaking,
can go. Some people
spraying
can go to the government because you see. Let me tell you something. I'm a solutions man, and I can turn anything to money. I can turn air to money. I can sit down here and gather people on my life and turn it to money. Because I'll just think of a crafty way. The government should print spraying money so they can make money from it. A type of money that is very thin. It has the same value of the Naira, but it can be abused. Let them spray that one. And
but people are already doing that themselves. Is that not an offense, to imitate Naira?
But now the government can have a special, it will be printed like maybe a bank check. But each leaf will be worth like 1,000 Naira each. Then the government will sell 10,000 Naira to you at 15% interest. Because spraying money is actually a culture. If I were the government, I'm looking for, oh, wow, how can I make money here? These people want to spray, they're not going to hear a word. So it is an offense to spray the Naira. But now the government, if they listen to me, hello government, I love you guys, we would design a special type of Naira that can be to be put on thin paper. You understand? Maybe they'll just create two notes, one 5,000 Naira and one 1,000 Naira, or three notes.
But that will encourage counterfeits being printed here and there then?
No. The way they are not counterfeiting normal Naira, they will not counter, because this is also going to come from the printing and minting company themselves. So it's going to be smaller than the Naira or bigger than the Naira. But each of them is going to be like a paper that you can tear. But each of them is valued at maybe 500 Naira, 1,000 Naira, or 5,000 Naira. 5,000 for the chairman, 1,000 for mid-range, 500 for the lower range. Now, if they spray it to you, you can now take it to a bank.
Yeah.
And they will issue you the cash.
The cash, okay.
Something like that. But it should be done in conjunction with the government. So people can actually now spray this money because they are buying it at a certain rate.
Yeah.
You understand? So it is like a paper worth, and there'll be a mark on it. So you spray it, you take it to the bank will check and say, okay, yes, this original, we are giving you this amount of money. So the bank is going to make money, the government is going to make money in two ways. You are going to make 15% to print these special notes for the people who are going to spray. And then when they come into cash, for instance, if they sprayed me 50,000 Naira, I'm going to get less 15%.
Less, yeah.
When I take that 50,000 Naira to the bank, I say, okay, this is the money I was sprayed. Take. The bank will now convert it and take 15%. So that way, between the government and the banks, they have 30% of whatever is sprayed. And the people are happy. Now, so that they do us for TikTok.
I was coming to say that it's as good as buying stars and you're getting less than, exactly.
If I sell money gun, let's imagine I sell money gun of $100. I'm walking away with $40. TikTok is taking $60.
Wow. That's a lot.
YouTube, if you buy super chat, super stickers, YouTube will take half. YouTube is better than TikTok. Facebook will take, you see, YouTube on is the worst. You will see the money. By the time it gets to your account, it's half. They don't cut.
So the musicians won't be enjoying this kind of arrangement. But what I think the musicians will now start doing is you transfer money and they will start praising you whichever way you want. But they would rather prefer you to try, because already at parties these days, they will tell you can do transfer. So when they see how much you pay them, then they will know how many minutes they want to use to praise you.
Another method would be the musician has this and another. I'm giving you people idea. Let's say every musician has a little gadget like this, about the size. So me that wants to spray, I will just put 100 Naira on my phone. So each time I come, let's imagine you are the, do you have to sing Fuji, Ronke Shumo Fuji ko?
Yes.
Or you have be singing Fuji and be praising me. So you are the one who, you as the musician, this thing, whether now they go do a pendant or something, or whether na tag, you go just do your chest.
Yes, yeah.
So they sing to me, they praise me. Me, I will come with my phone. I will do the program. I'm 100. So each tap now 1K. So be singing for me.
So I go to sing a freezy bobo, a Bobby freeze, daddy freeze, a freezy bobo, oh you bo pepe.
Do you understand?
So as you are
singing for me, each time I'm tapping it, is removing 1K, is removing 5K. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these are the options we can have. This second option is even better, because that way nothing is defaced. You understand what I'm saying? So the musician will give out a code, so app designers can design that app. The musician will give out a code, you will type the code, and you put maybe 5K per tap, 1K per tap, 100 naira per tap. Do you understand? So as it tap, do you understand? Then the musician can have different sounds. 100 naira FB, clicking, 1K FB, rock on. 5K FB, hey! So as you tap 5K, hey, then you know, say that 5K, they tap, they go, say yes, they burn the money. So that way you don't have to deface the naira. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense.
Yes, it's making sense,
So let me bring in some more people. Stay with me.
All right. Oh, you want to stay?
I want you to stay. I'm bringing in more people. Let's have a conversation.
All right. We're enjoying it.
So that way, at the end of the day, brother, how far? My political mind.
I greet you.
We have arrived.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to speak as to the trial of Bobrisky.
Okay.
One, the lawyers there said she shouldn't go for appeal. Or is it she or he? Okay, let's say she, right?
Yes.
So she can actually go for appeal. But at the same time, when you file your notice of appeal, you can then apply for bail. I give an example of one that happened recently. Orji Uzo Kalu was convicted by lower courts, appealed to the higher courts. While the appeal was on, he applied for bail. So you can actually apply for bail while your appeal is pending. That is possible. Yeah. So that's number one. Then number two, I don't know if the I heard, I wasn't there, but we don't know what actually transpired, whether it was a plea bargain thing, I don't know. But if he had smart lawyers, to be honest, they could have knocked that case off. The reason is because the evidence that EFCC wanted to tender, you can stop them, you can prevent them from tendering it. Because the only person that can tender that evidence is the person that actually took the photograph, the video. Yes.
Really?
100%.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Let me give you an example. You remember what happened in the tribunal for the presidential election? One of the reasons Peter Obi's case, those evidence from Channels TV and those could not be tendered. They needed the person from Channels TV who took that video to come and tender it.
So what sort of lawyers did this Bobrisky use that could not even identify it?
Listen, you don't know what transpires behind the scene. There may be other bigger charges. So they're like, okay, for us not to pursue it. I'm not saying that's the case. But I'm just saying
it was a money laundering case. Not be 6 months we they talk about.
Yes, so
because that's another angle to look at. Because maybe they don't look and they don't show and say, Baba, look, just collect this one, go your 6 months, you'll be out in no time. Say this money laundering, by the time we push this money laundering case, you will do 15 years. You understand? Or 8 years.
Because I was going to
play out. Some people will gamble it. Some people say, you know what, I want to try my luck and go and get legal maestros. Some people they just advise you, say, Baba, just do your plea bargain, collect what you want to collect, face it, you'll be out in no time. Do you understand? So I understand where you are coming from. Now, that does not mean he cannot appeal
It can
and
still
go to the appeal court.
However, going to appeal, you can only appeal to the Court of Appeal on points of law. It's something technical that I cannot start describing. You cannot challenge it on the facts. It's on points of law. So if the procedure, for instance, if I struggle to know the nomenclature to whether to use he or she for him now, it's difficult. So if she feels that the process, if he feels that there was no fair hearing, you can appeal on that. So there are so many grounds on which you can appeal, but on points of law. On points of law. Then let me answer your question. You asked the question about tribunals. So usually it depends on the jurisdiction, right? I guess you talked about immigration in the UK.
Yes.
So tribunals are special courts that are set up to handle particular matters. If your case was immigration related, I'm sure you went to the Immigration and Asylum Tribunal in the UK, right?
Yes.
So that tribunal in the UK, for instance, they have different tribunals. That Immigration and Asylum Chamber deals with immigration specifically. So in Nigeria, we also have special purposes. Another word for tribunal, the closest word I can use, they are special purposes courts. So for instance, in Nigeria too, we have the Election Petition Tribunal. It is just set up to deal with election petition matters. Same thing with the UK. So it's not a question of, what point will you go to tribunal? It is the law that determines which court has jurisdiction. By jurisdiction, I mean the court that has the power. So jurisdiction can be territorial, meaning it covers a particular area. Jurisdiction can also mean the power of the court to try certain matters. So so that explains the tribunal are courts set up to try special matters because of the complexity or the specialty that matter requires. They just dedicate some judges, train them in that respect, not the general courts.
And then the justice system of Nigeria, do they look into good behavior, spending half of the terms and all that? Does it apply in Nigeria?
Yes, it does.
So it might stand a good chance then.
Well, I don't know.
Of spending the half of the term. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. So what can happen is that there's what they call parole in certain jurisdiction. It doesn't apply to every jurisdiction, right? So if you say, for instance, they see that there's improvement, there's good behavior, they're like, okay, put you on parole. Okay, for the next 6 months, you were sentenced to, you're supposed to serve 6 months. Okay, do 3 months and then take 3 months off. But that 3 months will be watching your behavior. Yeah. Yeah. But as far as the case is concerned, now it can still appeal. It can still apply for bail and it can be granted bail today.
Wow.
Pending the hearing of his appeal. That is, if he files a notice of appeal. So 100%. But if I were to be his lawyer, right? If I were to be his lawyer, and there are no other matters, like I said, I don't know what happened, but I'm just taking it of face value that it is just the spraying into the facing of the naira thing.
No, I can tell you because I saw the charges. There are money laundering charges that were set aside. The plea bargain was they were going to take the money laundering charges away. So he just.
Let me ask you, but please, did you see the charge sheet? Because the things we hear on social media.
I didn't see the charge sheet, but I saw what seemed to be a press release. I can't remember clearly. Yeah. So I understood. I was like, okay, because for him to be quick to plead guilty, it shows that they probably had something on him that they could pursue.
Well, different people. Some people, say that maybe I'll be worried, but some people not get liver to pursue things, So I don't know. They may.
Someone said they dropped the money laundering charges. Sandy Posh, they dropped them as part of the plea bargain.
That's what I feel. As part of the plea bargain.
You see, yes. All of you listen. These are legal matters. I need you to start reading up all these things. Read about plea bargain. Read about jurisdiction. read about sentencing, read about bail. Some people don't even know what bail is. Do you understand? So you see, lawyer, get me wrong, break it down for me. You see, when they do a plea bargain, they say, okay, you are going to give some, it's like mediation courts. I give something, you give something.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, nobody's winning, but nobody's losing 100%.
Nobody's losing either.
Now, without the plea bargain, Bobrisky could have won hands down 100%, or could have lost hands down 100%.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Correct, yeah.
So if Bobrisky had gone for the full charge, they say, okay, you know what, we're going to push money laundering, we're going to push this, we're going to push that. Bobrisky could have gone and lost and gone to jail for 7 years. Or Bobrisky could have gone and won and walked free. But you see, the plea bargain is like a mediation. They say, okay, we are willing to drop this. Are you willing to take this? So that way, he is getting not more than 6 months. Sure. Now, this, I will equate this to you holding $5,000 in your hand and using it to buy Bitcoin on Sunday. By Monday, you could be left with $2,000, or by Monday, you could have $7,000. You don't know how it's going to go. But with plea bargain, once they give you, okay, we are pushing the Naira devaluation or Naira mutilation charge, you know that you cannot get more than 6 months.
No, exactly the truth of that freeze. Because from plea bargain, it is between the prosecuting counsel or prosecuting party and the defense, right? However, they based on the plea bargain, they are going to make recommendation to the judge. But the judge is at discretion to accept it or not.
Now, by the time the news got to us, they've dropped the money laundering charges.
Yeah.
So what we had was Naira mutilation charges. The maximum sentence for a Naira mutilation charge is 6 months.
Minimum of 6 months.
Is it minimum or maximum?
No, it's maximum.
Let me check the law. Let me check.
So when it is maximum of 6 months, Bobrisky knows that no matter what happens, if heaven falls, if earth turns upside down, he will not go to jail for 7 months. So that is the essence of the plea bargain. You know your fate. You have decided not to gamble and win everything or lose everything.
I think part of the plea bargain was for him to drop the one that carried more, sentence than the other. So they dropped the EFCC one, and now he has to serve this one.
So
exactly, that's what happened.
The charges were too harsh. Were actually not understanding of what really they could have come up with.
Yeah.
Now, some people are stubborn. Some people can say, I no go agree, and they go and fight, and they can. It's maximum 6 months.
No, it's minimum of 6 months. I read it for you, right? So, section 21 of the CBN Act, subsection 1, section 21, subsection 1. A person who tampers with a coin or note issued by the central bank is guilty of an offense and shall on conviction be liable to imprisonment for a term not less than 6 months. Or a fine not less than 50,000 naira, or both such fine and imprisonment. So it's a minimum if you're sentenced to.
Oh, so if it is the minimum, then the sentence was not harsh.
They gave him
then it wasn't harsh. Then.
But what made it harsh was they didn't give the option of the bail, which is still the discretion of the judge.
Yep.
So what are we talking about then? We were thinking that was the maximum.
Because you see, that's why everybody was shouting maximum. So I didn't even cross-check.
And that was exactly what his own lawyer even said. I listened to his own lawyer. His own lawyer before
unless the act has been reviewed. If the act has not been reviewed, if it starts saying CBN Act of
that is right. Go and listen.
Any other lawyers who have an updated version?
Of course, I'm not practicing in Nigeria right now, so I don't want to.
But if you listen to his lawyer before he was sentenced the first time, when they said they will be sentencing him, the lawyer said he's got the maximum sentence of 6 months maximum and fine of 50,000.
So does the lawyer know what they are? So the problem is, I wish we could get someone who can actually educate us more, because there's still, if his lawyer said he got the maximum sentence, it's either his lawyer is misleading the public, or there's something we don't know.
Yeah.
So the maximum, if the minimum sentence is 6 months with the option of a fine or with the fine, then he didn't get the harshest possible sentence.
No, he didn't get the harshest.
No, he didn't.
Would be money. We pay that 50,000 and still do 6 months.
Still, thank you, but you didn't get it.
So let us know. You see, so that's the minimum. So 6 months is the minimum.
Yeah.
From what I can see in the CBN Act, yes.
According to the CBN Act.
Yes, CBN.
Can anybody else throw a counter?
Section 21, subsection 1.
Section 21, subsection 1.
Unless it's been updated, like I said, I don't practice in Nigeria, so
yes.
possible. That's why I'm putting caution in what I'm saying.
And trust me, if it's updated, it will be reviewed upwards, not downwards. Because
exactly, it will have been.
It can be anyway. On abuse of the naira. So if it's going to be updated, it will be reviewed upwards. So it will be maybe 1 million naira fine and 1 year in prison.
So when they said 6 months was the minimum, yeah, what did you see as the maximum then?
They didn't state maximum, but what he said is that
my problem is Bongoli is never available at this time of the day. It's always a night or cock. Oh, he's on holiday. Let me call him. Bongoli, come here. They are looking for you.
So what could have happened is that they can combine both the 6 months and also
the fine. Yes,
100%.
So they didn't expressly state the maximum.
So Lagos State is left without Mommy of Lagos now. How are you guys going to survive now? It's not funny.
We will be managed, make all of us learn.
You're not funny at all. So then I saw something on the media as well that the judge, obviously the judge asked what do we call him? He asked Bobrisky, are you a man? Are you a woman? And he said, I'm a man, right? So now he goes into the men's cell, is it?
Yes.
Oh.
And I thought Nigerian police saying we're going to protect him. Protect him on what and as what? Because he's going to men's cell. He claimed he's a man. They're putting him in men's cell. So protecting him as in, or from abuse or what? From this when he gets to the cell, or what do they mean by that?
Well, I can't speak to that because I don't know what transpired in court. There are a lot of things that are flying in the media that are not necessarily correct. And so if I don't know what he claimed to be in court.
No, they said claimed to be a man. It was there written.
But again, that is yesterday. They said I wasn't there. I've not seen any document.
No, it's not. Okay. We all speak everything on media. You're right, though.
Yes. So I'll only talk based on facts.
And say Bobrisky Namale. Which one's been Namale?
Oh, Bobrisky Namale. You see, for me, I'm more interested in the technicalities of the case than all these where we say that they're going to put him. I want to learn. I want to educate people, and I love the direction the conversation is going. Today, for instance, I learned that it's not maximum of 6 months. It's actually minimum of 6 months.
I just learned that now.
So I want you to come to Daddy Free's page and walk away with take out pack. So